Nobody told you that a handful of ordinary leaves, the kind sitting forgotten in kitchen cabinets across the country, could be doing something quietly extraordinary inside your body every single morning. And what frustrates me as a vascular biologist and physician is that the research validating what these plants can do has been published in peer-reviewed journals for years, yet the average person over 60 has never heard a word of it. A landmark investigation by scientists at the University of Maryland Medical Center documented that specific plant-derived polyphenols, when dissolved in hot water and consumed regularly, reduced measurable inflammatory markers in adults over 60 by as much as 47% in just 8 weeks. And those findings are not from a supplement company brochure. They are indexed scientific literature with citations linked in the description below. My name is Dr. Leanna, and before we go further, I want to ask you something personal. Leave a comment telling me your age and the one health challenge you are quietly navigating right now. Whether that is morning stiffness before your feet hit the floor, skin that seems to have aged more in the last 2 years than the previous decade, or blood sugar numbers that have started appearing in your labs alongside words your doctor chooses carefully. I read every comment, and what you share shapes every video I make. Today, we are counting down 5 leaves you can steep in hot water and drink as a tea, ranked from deeply effective to genuinely life-altering. And the leaf at number 1 is something most physicians never bring up, that most pharmacies have never carried, and that the majority of adults over 65 have never once imagined drinking. So stay with me all the way to the end. Number 5 is olive leaf. The world knows olive oil, but almost nobody is talking about the leaf of the same tree. And that silence is costing people over 60 their mobility and metabolic stability every day. The olive leaf contains a compound called allureopine, which functions like a circuit breaker for runaway immune activity. Scientists at the University of Granada ran a controlled trial with participants averaging 67 years of age and found that olive leaf extract reduced C-reactive protein, the body's primary inflammation alarm signal, by 28% over 12 weeks. After 65, a molecule called interleukin-6 keeps the inflammatory response switched on even when no real threat exists, and allureopine has been shown in the European Journal of Nutrition to directly suppress that activity, meaning it addresses a root cause rather than simply masking pain. For skin, allureopine protects the collagen scaffold by neutralizing enzymes that act as molecular scissors cutting apart the framework keeping skin firm. To brew it, steep 2 grams of dried olive leaf in water that has boiled and rested 2 minutes for 10 to 12 minutes and drink it before breakfast. Add a pinch of black pepper to boost polyphenol absorption by up to 30%. Number 4 is mulberry leaf. After 65, post-meal blood sugar spiking becomes dramatically more dangerous because the pancreas slows its insulin response and muscle cells develop aging-associated insulin resistance, meaning glucose lingers in the bloodstream longer after every meal, quietly damaging blood vessels, accelerating skin aging through glycation, and fueling joint inflammation. Mulberry leaf contains a compound called deoxynigeromycin, or DNJ, which slows the rate glucose enters circulation after eating. Researchers at Tokyo Women's Medical University found it reduced post-meal blood sugar spikes by 44% in adults over 60. Brew 3 to 4 grams in hot water for 8 minutes and drink it 20 minutes before your largest carbohydrate meal. Add fresh lemon juice to enhance absorption and further stabilize glucose response. Number 3 is lemon balm leaf. Research from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging shows mitochondrial efficiency declines by as much as 35% after 70, and a significant portion of joint pain, skin fragility, and blood sugar instability is rooted in that decline. Lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid, which a 2020 University of Lisbon study found reduced oxidative stress markers in older adult cells by 39% and measurably improved mitochondrial function. It also reduces elevated nighttime cortisol, which a randomized trial in the journal Nutrients found dropped by 18% in stressed older adults, producing better sleep and lower morning blood sugar as downstream effects. Steep 2 to 3 grams in hot water for 6 to 8 minutes and drink it 1 hour before bed. Number 2 is moringa leaf. Sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle mass accelerating after 65, is not just a muscle problem. It is simultaneously a metabolic problem, an inflammatory problem, and a joint problem. Muscle is the body's primary glucose disposal organ and an anti-inflammatory endocrine organ, so as it disappears, blood sugar worsens and inflammation rises. Moringa contains a compound called moringin that activates the NRF2 pathway, the body's master switch for internal antioxidant production. Researchers at the University of Calabria found it reduced the inflammatory markers TNF-alpha and IL-1 beta by 33 and 29% over 16 weeks, and a 2021 Maastricht University study found moringa improved muscle protein synthesis in adults over 70 by 22%, meaning muscles actually responded better to protein in food. Brew 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried moringa powder in 300 milliliters of water and drink it within 30 minutes of a protein-containing meal. And now, number 1, the leaf I promised you most doctors never mention and most people over 65 have never considered putting in a cup, and that is bay leaf. The same bay leaf in your spice cabinet, used occasionally to flavor soup and otherwise completely forgotten, while a quietly accumulating body of peer-reviewed research on its effects on human health sits in journals almost no one reads. Bay leaf contains eugenol, rutin, and particularly a compound called parthenolide, and together these create a layered effect on joints, skin, and blood sugar that is genuinely remarkable. For joints, eugenol inhibits the COX-2 enzyme, the same target as aspirin and ibuprofen, but through a different binding mechanism, and without the gastric and cardiovascular risks that come with long-term NSAID use. Parthenolide directly suppresses NF-kappa B, the master regulator of inflammatory gene expression, which in people over 70 tends to stay chronically elevated in a state geroscientists call inflammaging. A randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition found that adults with osteoarthritis who drank bay leaf tea twice daily for 12 weeks experienced a 36% reduction in joint pain scores and saw morning stiffness duration fall from an average of 47 minutes to 19. For skin, the rutin in bay leaf stimulates dermal fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin, to remain more active, and research from the Leibniz Institute on Aging found it reduced advanced glycation end product formation by 31% over 8 weeks. For blood sugar, a study in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition found that adults with type 2 diabetes consuming 3 grams of bay leaf daily for 30 days saw fasting blood sugar fall by 26%, LDL cholesterol drop by 26%, and protective HDL cholesterol rise by 29%, with the placebo group showing no meaningful change in any marker. To brew it, place 3 to 4 dried bay leaves in cold water. Bring them to a boil together, simmer 5 minutes, then steep covered for 8 more minutes before straining. Drink it 15 to 20 minutes before your 2 largest meals for blood sugar benefit, or on an empty stomach in the morning for maximum anti-inflammatory absorption. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon and 2 or 3 slices of fresh ginger to create a morning tea that works simultaneously on inflammation, blood sugar, and cellular aging for a few cents per cup. All scientific references are linked in the description, and I encourage you to share them with your healthcare provider before beginning, particularly if you take blood thinners or diabetes medications. If this video gave you something valuable today, please subscribe, leave it a like, and share it with someone you care about. Leave a comment telling me your age, where you are watching from, and which of these 5 leaves you are most excited to try, because this channel exists entirely for you, and your best mornings may genuinely still be ahead.